And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford, Juju Phillips along with you. Thursday edition today. Schedule didn't quite work for yesterday, but we got it worked out today. I'm glad to have my good friend Juju Phillips join me for a little Lenore Ryan update. Juju, big week this week. Lots of things to talk about, not just in sports. You got a presidential inauguration going on. You got homecoming going on. And a big announcement about something I don't think has ever happened. A state high school championship game going to be played right here in Hickory.
You know, Lanny, they say it's always a pleasure to join you. You know, they say things happen in threes, and, well, those three things you just mentioned all happened this week or are happening today. The presidential inauguration begins in earnest a little bit later on today. Of course, homecoming festivities, they're being planned for today and tonight. And tomorrow, and then again on Saturday for the football game, the annual Hanley Painter Bear Memorial Golf Tournament that's been around for nearly 4 decades. They will tee it off tomorrow morning at Lake Hickory Country Club. And so, I mean, that's just the start of everything. And, of course, the news broke earlier this week of the fact that one of two, I think, my understanding is two
yes,
of the state's high school football state championship games will be played on the surface at Moret Stadium between December the 11th and December 13th. Don't know the dates specifically in which classification will play, but my understanding is it's probably going to be one game on the 12th and one on the 13th.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, very exciting week. There are going to be some other announcements coming up, too, in the next couple of weeks regarding the Western Regional High School Basketball Tournament, which is, my understanding, returning to the Hickory area starting in March. So, yeah, big week indeed, and some of those games are going to be played at Lenore Ryan's Shuford Arena. So, yeah, it's been a busy week. I'm trying to find parking right now on campus. They have the whole campus blocked off for the inauguration that's going to be taking place on campus today. So that's why I'm talking to you. I'm out searching for a parking spot and do a little walking this morning.
That's okay. That's okay. Now, I don't know if you know the details on that. Was that something that you had to bid on, or how did that work as far as getting that? We've talked about it for years. There needed to be games that were kind of spread across the state a little bit, and I've always felt like UNC Charlotte was a good venue that they could go to, 15,000. LR, I think we're between 7,000 and 8,000. You've got turf. You've got good weather. You've got a way to accommodate the people that would come in. And honestly, I like a state championship game that, let's just say they bring 6,000, 8,000 people. It looks empty in a stadium that holds 40.
Yeah, it sure does. My understanding, Lanny, the conversation started first between the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, who contacted Lenore Ryan back during the summer, maybe early fall, I want to say July, August. Again, I don't know all the details, but yeah, they contacted LR, and then they worked it out, the arrangements. My understanding, too, is that LR will not they're through with all their finals and everything, so students will not be on campus. There'll be plenty of room for parking and whatnot. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan and how it all got started.
I think that's awesome. That's an awesome announcement. And then we'll kind of transition over. Presidential inauguration going on today. Give us a little scoop on that.
Well, they are the 13th president in Lenore Ryan's history, Dr. Summer McGee, who's been all over the place, to be honest with you. Everywhere there's some kind of event, be it within the city of Hickory or on the Lenore Ryan campus, she has been at. She has attended. The inauguration will be taking place. They have the stadium set up. They have all kind of activities going on throughout the day. The campus is kind of closed off for parking and whatnot. And it starts a little bit later this morning and goes most of the afternoon. The official ceremony, I'm not exactly sure because I'll be out setting up for the golf tournament, which tees off early tomorrow morning. But, yeah, it's a busy time. They have dignitaries coming from, my understanding, all over the country and all over the Hickory area and the southeast for this event. First time I think they've ever held one of these massive inaugural celebrations for a president at LR for sure. So, yeah, it's been a big event all week. They've had activities starting on Tuesday and capping it off here this afternoon. I think it starts. I guess they cap it off with the ceremony between 3 and 5 o'clock. So yeah, it should be busy until the late afternoon.
That's awesome. A lot of good things happening up in Hickory. I know that you got homecoming coming up this week. Let's catch up on Lenore-Ryan football a little bit.
Bears are struggling, so to speak, a little bit. They've lost a couple of close games here the last few weeks, fallen below 500, fallen out of the top 25, fallen out of the race for the South Atlantic Conference Championship, of which they were the preseason pick to win it all. But Lenore-Ryan's lost a couple of close games, especially the last couple of weeks, to Newberry and again last week to Anderson, which came and beat Hickory and beat LR, dropping the Bears below 500. LR is not – they're not playing with the same kind of intensity and physical play probably that the fans are used to. The Bears have been a team that struggled a bit with turnovers. They're struggling with interceptions and that kind of thing, also with penalties. It seems like inopportune penalties at the wrong time. And 2 big turnovers last week led to touchdowns for Anderson as they prevailed over the Bears in a close ball game. So right now the Bears seem to be a little bit snake bit. They don't, like with anything else, when you start losing a little bit, a lot of fans around here aren't necessarily happy about that. They're used to winning, especially since about 2018. LR's been in the national picture, national rankings for the last 6 or 7 years, and this year they're not. They're below 500. This is the latest they've been under 500 in about 8 years. So, it's been a struggle of late. Some of their key players have been out with injury, and it's all contributed to a back-to-back pair of losses, and they hope to right the ship a little bit this week when they take on a Virginia Weiss team that's only won 1 game so far this year. I
was going to ask, what if you had to break it down, kind of where are they being bitten by the injury bug a little bit? Is that kind of one of the things that's bothering them?
Their running back, the Bears are down to their 4th-string running back,
wow,
who last week rushed for a career-high 112 yards. Their top 3 running backs are all out with knee injuries, including a couple of guys that they were counting on, including a transfer from Catawba last year, L.J. Turner, 1,000-yard rusher, All-American running back. He hurt his knee, tore his knee up earlier this season. They lost their other starting running back as well to a knee injury. And then their 3rd-team running back, Alex Boyd, also suffered a knee injury last week. And I'm not sure if he'll return this week. But, again, they've been hit there. One of their top wide receivers has been out off and on with a hamstring problem. And on the defensive side, the Bears are struggling in the secondary as well. So and the offensive line's not blocking as well as they had hoped. They brought in a bunch of transfers to kind of upgrade the offensive line, and the transfer portal has not been kind to the Bears so far this year.
Well, when you look back and you look at kind of get just, I guess, an overview of things, the only real, I guess, what you'd say massive loss that they suffered was the opening of the season with West Florida. But you're talking about top 5 type team, and we've seen them before. When you look at the other games, with the exception of Carson Newman, they were 1-score games.
Yeah, and the Carson Newman game, the Bears were down to their 13 quarterback in that game, and it was a close game until the second half when LR committed again some turnovers. But they have played a number of close games this year. The last 2 close games have resulted in losses where the Bears either had the ball or had to stop a team from winning the game, and they just could not make the plays when the game's been on the line. They lost, again, 2 tough close games, including last week against Anderson when 2 big turnovers really decided that football game.
Yeah. And you know, nobody can control the injury side of it. And one of the things that people don't, I guess, think about a lot of times when you think about injuries, when you think about, well, I've gone to another kid, what the really thing is it disrupts the cohesion that you had, because you may have somebody, let's just say they're close in skill level, but it's the cohesion and the blending, because now you're trying to put all of that emotion together that you haven't worked with these people before.
Yeah, I mean you mentioned about the cohesion. It's testing your depth. Messes up your chemistry a little bit as well. You don't have as much time to prepare and get the kids ready. It's an opportunity, depending on how you look at it. It's an opportunity for some kids to step up, or as they say nowadays, level up and try to contribute to a team. Get your opportunity to take advantage of it. That's all contributed to what LR is doing, or specifically not doing this year. And I'd love to do a survey someday or a study on whether or not, and maybe at any level, even in the NFL, you look at teams that seem to be losing or teams that have been injured. Is there a correlation between teams that start to lose? Is it because of their injuries or because of lack of talent? But it seems to be the teams that start struggling a little bit, that injuries seem to happen.
Yeah.
And teams that are winning, they stay injury-free or seem to stay injury-free. And that right now, that seems to be one of LR's problems, is the fact that they're losing some of their key players to injury.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's going to have an effect. That's where it is. And you know, I think you said early on in the season there were like 140 on the roster or something, or am I not remembering that correctly?
No, you have a great memory, Lanny. No matter, about 138 guys on the team, maybe give or take a few, and it's tough to get all those kids, practice time.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep them all engaged in practice when you have those many kids, and maybe the kids that need the work, need the repetition, don't get enough, and the ones that would like to get some don't get any at all. So it's a delicate balance.
Well, and you've got, people don't understand, you don't have an open-ended schedule. You've got restrictions that the NCAA puts on you as far as practice time.
Yeah, I think it's 20 hours a week that you can practice.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that includes classroom time or whatnot, but I think it's 20 hours a week now. Maybe it's less. So you don't, and again, you got to work around classes and different things like that and labs. So, you got about a 2.5 to 3 hour window there for practice and classroom work. So, that you just don't have as much time. And again, teams don't. It goes back to what you've talked about for years. Teams don't tackle, they don't hit, they don't do a lot of that, what they used to do in practice back in our day. And again, that leads to maybe teams not developing as much. And when they do start hitting or have some, the kind of competition in games where there is the physical style of play, they get hurt. And that's the one thing I've noticed this year. LR is not a physical football team like they've been in the past.
Well, one of the things I think that hurts, I don't think fundamentals are developed as much as they used to be. And I think I think that's one of the things kind of that Bill Belichick is struggling with at Carolina. He was used to, when you got to the NFL, you were pretty fundamentally sound after coming through the college system. You're getting kids that maybe aren't as fundamentally sound from coming out of high school into the college level. And if you're having to do that too, I think there's not quite enough time. So I don't think the fundamental development is what it should be.
I can't argue with you there, Lanny. You're right. You just don't have as much time as you used to, even though teams, and you start in high school football, all they do is 7-on-7 in the summertime.
Right.
And, the fundamentals of maybe passing and running routes is there, but not the other, little things that make or break a team, especially development of offensive line play and defensive line play.
Well, there's more to football than developing plays, and that's all that 7-on-7 does. To me, there's a lot more fundamentals that have to be done.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
You can't get it. Can't quite get it all. What else you got going on, my friend?
Well, that pretty much all. The LR's having a sports auction, Lanny.
I saw that.
It's going on right now. Go online, lrbears.com/auction, and you can see a list of items. There are about 140 items, from trips to the Caribbean. There are tickets for Army-Navy, which the Commanders and Buffalo Bills, I think, is another game. But there's some tickets there, sports tickets for games. There are trips There's some other wonderful items as well. If you want to make a bid, take a bid on it. It's an open auction. It ends on Sunday, this Sunday the 19th. So, yeah, if you're interested, go online, lrbears.com/auction, and you can check out all the items, about 140 to 150 items.
I'll run this past you and let you go. I know you've got a lot on your plate. To me, this year, college football and the NFL, but especially college football, I think it has been much more competitive, and there's much more parity in that you don't have maybe just a couple of teams that are still being successful. It's like every Saturday there are games all over the schedule that are going down to the wire and maybe not coming out like you think they would. I think it's been a good year for college football, but you're seeing the patience of programs like the firing of James Franklin. You know, are you kidding me? I mean, I don't want Dabo to be fired. I just want him to get on board with what everybody else is doing. But, you know, there's not patience out there anymore.
No, there's not, and Penn State's a great example. But you have programs that are patient, like Indiana, which has really turned things around in the last couple of years. But you look at Penn State, they were within one couple of plays of beating Oregon, which was a top 5 team in the country. They lose that game and then lose back-to-back games, and he's out of his job. And it's going to be interesting to find out who paid off. Who was the person that paid off Penn State and paid off Franklin to go away, and who's the next guy going to be? Because there's some good candidates out there, but I got a feeling maybe the person that paid off Penn State has somebody in mind.
Well, the problem that I would have if I were looking for a position and watch what they did to James Franklin, I would be like, wait a minute. What if I don't even come close to succeeding to what he did? I'm the next guy out the door. It's kind of like when people say, here, I'd like for you to meet my future ex-wife. I mean, that's kind of what it's like. That plan is already in the works before you ever start.
Yeah, you're right. The one name that I heard, and there's all the other college coaches, but the one NFL name that I've heard, he's coached in college, and he's the current offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. My understanding is that the owner of Buffalo Bills, who is, I think, a Penn State grad, he's the guy that paid off James Franklin. And my understanding, stuff that I've read, saying that Joe Brady, the former Panthers offensive coordinator, who was with LSU under Joe Burrow, might be in line to be the next Penn State head coach. That's just speculation. But the owner of Buffalo is the one that paid off James Franklin to go away.
Wow.
Maybe maybe Penn State will say, okay, you did us the favor, now go ahead and bring along your guy. Don't know if that's true or not, but that's a couple of things that I read, plus all the other college coaches like Signetti and some others. I even heard Marcus Freeman's name mentioned from Notre Dame.
I'm hearing that a lot, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I realize coaching at Notre Dame is tough. I do. But, everything is so fragile. We used to talk about it, whether it was football or basketball in college, especially when recruiting was the key component to that. You got to give a coach 3 years. He's got to get his guys to run his systems and let them develop before you can start to see success. You don't have a 3-year window now.
No, not with the transfer portal and all that other, the NIL, you have less than that. And, again, it's a different world out there than what it is, and it's trickled even down to the lower levels in college football as well, where teams schools get rid of some coaches in less than 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, no, you see it, and you've already seen it in the NFL as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any easier on that level. Anything else, my friend?
Lanny, I'm pretty much tapped out. It's been a busy last couple of days,
okay.
And we'll get really busy over the next 2 or 3 days.
All right, sir. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch up again hopefully next week. And I'm going to close this out. And when I do that, if you'll just stay on the phone for just a minute, sir.
All right, buddy.
Thanks buddy. How to wrap it up for Stephen, you and Stacy, thanks for joining us this morning. I can't tell you when I'll be back on the air. We'll just have to wait and see. Until then, have a great week, everybody.